a ciki akwai 1.5 billion da aka cire. 1.5 billion, that's 1,500 million for motorcade na first lady.
That was the fund for the vehicle that the other guy was.
Oh yes, yeah, the senator that was talking about. Yes.
The senator, the
representative.
The lawmaker.
Oh yeah,
Kaduna boys.
Yes.
Kaduna boys.
Yeah, but I find it very hypocritical. I find it very hypocritical. You're a son of a governor, for goodness sake. You've been riding all these government-bought vehicles since you were a child. You know, so it's nothing special. We have 3 billion naira allocated for the construction of a car park for the House of Reps members.
Yes.
We have another 3 billion naira allocated for the construction of a carport, a car parking space for the senators too, because they don't want to mingle with the younger one. Another 10 billion naira has been allocated actually for the construction of a general car park for the National Assembly.
Monies now can be referred as prayers to the Senate.
Yes. 218 million.
And 18 million.
Amen.
Prayers to the Senate. God bless. We have God answer the prayers of the Senate. Assalamu alaikum. Shaman. Ya ina gajiya.
Ratan.
Lafiya lau, kun gode Allah.
Ya Nigeria ya rants.
To, ana ta yi.
Issues ana ta discussions.
Matters today.
Matters today.
Matters will never end in this country.
Ba su taba karewa.
Kaga there was last zaman mu da muka yi muke magana su minimum wage da waye. Duka like da muka zauna kuma sai muka ga to ai it's not like wayannan kudaden wai kudade ne da ba za a iya biya ba ko kuma wasu figures ne da ake kira
some outrageous
figures. Idan labor suka ce suna neman 500,000 naira ana ganin kamar sun kira wani outrageous figures ne. Why babu wannan funds din bane fa? Akwai funds din in the country, so why are they saying they cannot afford to pay them this money? Where are those monies that we have in the country? Ina kudin kasan suke? The money we are generating, bashin da ake ci, revenue, all those things, where are the money going to? So yau shine muka ci zamu zo na, like we need to discuss these things. Like where are these monies going to? Where are these monies going to?
The money they do where it dey now. You no one spend the money on top of your matter.
Where it dey now? Where we want know now?
It dey for cost of governance.
So what we want to discuss today is cost of governance. What is the cost of governance? Like this administration, let's say in 1 year, let's say roughly 1 year. So how much does it cost in muka dawo ta bangare ɗaya yanzu da zamu yi discussing kawai?
To any particular
me cost din.
Well,
let's analyze that.
Kasan this administration ko kuma in ce, well basically ma wannan party din APC sun zo da wani culture ne na palliatives. An yi institutionalizing din palliatives into governance. So ya zama kawai government ne na patronage.
Okay.
You have people who are feeding themselves, you know, getting themselves full with the money of the taxpayers, and it's quite appalling. In kakala kamar yace cost of governance, it's basically where the money goes. Kakala budget, and then you will see a lot of money is going to some very frivolous and very unnecessary aspects of governance. Ce maka lawmakers za a basu kaza, presidential jets za su yi kaza, first ladies fleets za su yi kaza da kaza.
Kuma duk da kudaden taxpayers.
Yes, taxpayers. Da aka akwai a cikin 2023 budget, there was supplementary budget da suka kara bayan sun zo, ta kara 2.17 trillion or thereabouts. A ciki akwai 1.5 billion da aka cire. 1.5 billion, that's 1,500 million for motorcade na first lady. Za su yi motocin first lady.
Entourage.
Entourage na da za a yi movement.
Motocin first lady?
Yes.
So what happened to motocin tsohuwar first lady?
Ta tafi da su kuma whatever they it's not their problem. Kawai an cire 1.5. Akwai wani some 2 point something billion da aka cire wai a yi renovating din vice president's residence.
Which I
no kaka manta yanzu an yi construction kasan sabo. Wannan in 2023 ne. Supplementary budget aka cire 2 billion a yi renovating tsohon vice president's residence.
Yanzu kuma an gina sabo.
Su Dodan Barak
21 million in a billion.
Zaka samu su Dodan Barak an cire musu 4 billion za a gyara. Dodan Barak the old presidential villa. An cire mai 4 billion. The president's Abuja's residence, you might say about 2 billion naira or so. Outrageous figures. And you realize that the country is not actually broke like they claim.
Exactly.
The people are broke, and they project this brokenness to the people. And then they go ahead, instead of overtaxing themselves or cutting down the cost of governance, so overtaxing the
exactly.
person getting his hard-earned money.
They
overtax you, they collect taxes. You realize that
Pay for their
they basically run the government like a mafia system. So you have a godfather that you pay a patronage to. So if you don't even have a godfather, literally we call them godfathers.
Godfathers, yes.
If you don't have a godfather that you kiss his hands,
you're not going anywhere.
You won't get the contract, you won't get the jobs, you won't get anything. So there was a study by ICIR, International Center for Investigative Reporting. Sunyi study, so kind of just 5 months of this president
governance, 5 months
daga May 29th zuwa October 1st.
2023.
Yes, so analyzing then palliative, just palliative. We have a culture of palliative. What someone called almajirification of the system. I will add barbialization of our minds.
Almajirification of the system.
So what's
and
going on?
Barbialization of our minds.
That's basically what we do. We do the bara, we call it. So it's a barification tool. We could create words from that. But then it's very, very glaring and very, very interesting how it went. I want those watching as well as you here to assist me in calculating this very lump sums. We'll begin by 75 billion naira. That was palliatives, just palliatives. 75 billion naira palliatives sent through the manufacturing sector.
75 billion sent to the manufacturing sector.
75 billion naira.
I want people watching to help us do the calculation because these figures are getting outrageous.
And they
I don't think we can get
they probably give us the figures in the comment section or something.
In the comment sections, yes.
So we have another 200 billion naira earmarked for cultivation of some hectares of farmland.
200 billion naira.
Yes, for farming.
For cultivation of some hectares.
Some hectares, yes.
Some hectares
300,000 hectares
of some farmlands.
Yes. So 200 billion.
Farmlands can be anywhere.
Yes. Okay. So you added with another 185 billion naira, which is a palliative loan to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy.
Loans, come on.
Yes, palliative loan. That's how it was.
Palliative loans.
Yes, that's how it was named.
Subsidy.
To cushion the effect of
who's entitled?
Yes,
Nigerians.
Who are the beneficiaries?
Nigerians
supposed beneficiaries.
Yes. So we have 25,000 each to be shared with 15 million households for a period of 3 months. So 15 million households are supposed to benefit from getting 25,000 naira each. Yes.
For how many months?
For 3 months.
For 3 months.
So individual or per household?
Each household will get 25,000 naira. So you multiply 25,000 by 15 million.
Yes.
And then times it by 3. Because it's for 3 months. Yes.
15 million households?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think, is there any household that has benefited?
I don't know, mine has not.
Mine hasn't as well. But I don't know.
This is news to me actually.
We might have some that have benefited, probably.
Well, the monies have gone out.
Whether
they've gotten to the beneficiaries or not, we'll leave that for the public to scrutinize. We have some 218 million naira, which was allocated to the senators as vacation allowance.
218.
Yes, remember there was a time when the Senate president was seen saying before cameras.
I think it was the Easter.
Yes.
Yeah, Easter.
So he was going to. We've sent something into your account. Some token to your account to enjoy the break. And then his attention was called that cameras were there.
He withdrew the statement.
I've withdrawn this statement.
Yeah, he withdrew the statement immediately.
We've sent some prayers. Through the clerk of the
So this
Senate.
monies now can be referred as prayers to the Senate.
Yes. 218 million.
And 18 million.
Amen.
Prayers to the Senate. God bless.
We have
God answer the prayers of the Senate.
So it was 2 million. By the way, it was 2 million naira each. And we have 109 senators.
So when you multiply, that's 218 million.
So we have some 125 billion naira. 125 billion naira as conditional grants and financial inclusion to small and medium enterprises. 125 billion naira was allocated to small and medium enterprises. I mean, most of us are owners of these SMEs, and we are yet to get grants. Grants. For financial inclusion, everyone should be included.
If these grants, imagine these grants have been distributed to the right persons. medium and scale businesses would have boomed, of course.
Well, that's not all.
Okay.
We have 100 billion naira. That's 100,000 million naira to acquire some CNG fuel buses. So
CNG fuel.
So
buses.
we want to go the green way.
Yes.
And now we want to start doing CNG to avoid using petrol.
Eco-friendly.
So CNG fuel buses. We planned on importing them. 100 billion naira.
Where are they?
Well, that's for
probably
the public.
They're still clearing the shipments.
Okay.
The containers still the port.
These monies have been allocated.
The monies have been disbursed already. So
this is whether they between May 29 and October
2023.
The government has forgotten about the monies. They've been allocated.
We are facing 2024 budget.
The presumption
now.
is that they've already landed
budget
to the right beneficiaries. Then we had another 1 trillion naira. 1 trillion naira to be reinvested in providing student loans for higher education. Remember the student loans stuff? They weren't joking. They weren't joking. So we have 1 trillion naira allocated.
So you mean Nigerian students have benefited from this loan?
Sure.
Wow, so these students who they see, they ask us of 2K. Students get money without
No one has benefited. I can tell you as a matter of authority, no one has benefited from that thing. It's just a charade and a way of actually getting money out of it. So they create these things and then they find a way of funneling these monies into them and then benefiting themselves. If there are any students, then these guys are the students, they're not the real students of the country.
Yes.
So we have another 35,000 naira each as provisional wage increment for all treasury paid workers. So what this is saying is every civil servant in Nigeria is entitled to 35,000 naira increment on their salary, monthly.
As palliative as well.
As palliative, of course, as palliative. You're just doing it out of the national cake. For this 5 month period.
For that period?
Yes. So 35,000 naira. If you're earning 50,000 naira, you're getting 85,000
naira. So you mean to tell me all the civil servants have received 35?
Additional 35? You know.
Supposed?
Yes.
So I think federal government was able to pay, I think, for 3 months thereabouts and stop.
The supposed 35,000 naira increment?
Yes. But state governments, I don't think so. Kaduna State was saying that shouldn't disburse the funds, but we don't get loan the funds to.
We didn't get to hear that, though. You know, this kind of things, people come out to talk when they don't get these monies. But when they receive the money, you just hear.
I don't if people actually got this money. But then
I think people are even aware.
Civil servants following this matter. So they are going to talk about it.
If they've received
please let us know.
Maybe with some receipts too. So and finally, for this particular session, finally we have 110 billion naira, yes, as palliative allocation to the National Assembly.
Palliative allocation to the National Assembly?
Yes.
So they also need palliative.
110 billion naira. I'll explain to you how we got the 110 billion naira.
Exactly, please.
First of all, the National Assembly allocated 70 billion naira
to itself,
supposedly to improve their working conditions. I mean, they've been working tirelessly for Nigerians, so they feel they deserve 70 billion to actually improve their working conditions. Yeah, they are working under the AC and everything, but then they can do more. They need more. They deserve more.
The country can afford more.
Yes, the country can, obviously. Yeah, and then they added 40 billion naira for their what do you call it? Their vehicles, SUVs, to buy new SUVs. Yes. So 140 million each for each senator.
140 million.
Yes, and
for
member
each senator to get a
House of
vehicle.
Representatives. We have 360 members.
So that was the fund for the vehicle that the other guy.
The senator that was talking about.
The senator, the lawmaker.
Oh, yeah, the Kaduna boys.
Yes.
The Kaduna boys.
But I find it very hypocritical. We've not gotten any confirmation as to whether he has collected
or not.
Let's assume that he has collected.
Based on what he said.
There are a lot of other things in the National Assembly. He has not rejected this 70 billion. He's cut of this 70 billion that has been allocated to improve his working conditions.
And also of the prayer.
Too.
He has answered the prayer.
So he realized that the media was in chaos because of this, and he thought he should score some political points with this, and I'm not collecting and whatever. You're a son of a governor, for goodness sake. You've been riding all these government-bought vehicles since you were a child. You know, so it's nothing special.
And I also feel it's something normal for him to follow the footsteps.
We should not clap for somebody like
that. And
I
feel it's something normal for him to follow the footsteps of his father, looking at the way his father works with the media. Whatever is going to trend or make headlines in the media, he knows what he's after. Yes. So it's just like a son following after the footsteps of his father.
He has employed a whole foreign PR agency manage his public relations.
Oh, wow.
On the one hand, and then he goes to the social media insulting people's parents.
Yes,
on the other,
yes.
it's really ironic. I find him very contradictory as a fellow. But that's, by the way, he's insignificant, and I think we should not dwell on it. So he's nothing in the grand scheme of things. So let's talk about these monies of the lawmakers. 110 billion naira. What can 110 billion naira do for you and I, the common Nigerian?
For Nigeria,
yes,
a lot.
One of the most dilapidated sectors in the country is the health sector.
The health sector,
of course.
The health sector is in shambles.
Of course.
We record daily avoidable deaths on a daily basis, and then we've already become numb to this thing. So we've normalized people going to the hospital and avoidably dying.
Exactly.
Because of how bad the system is.
You know, we all dwell it on faith.
Yes.
So
the Federal Ministry of the Federal Ministry of Health gave us a report. This is from the government, that we have 30,000 primary healthcare centers across the country.
30,000 primary health.
And out of that 30,000, we have only 10,000 that are functional. They said 1/3 of the 30,000 are functional. So you have just 10,000 that are functional across. The others are not functional.
Non-functional.
Are you not functional in the Nigerian sense?
Of course.
Functional in the Nigerian context.
One bed, some starving doctor,
some
painkillers in a box.
On a box. And then later
so now equate 10,000. So imagine we use this 110 billion and inject it into our dilapidated health sector.
Just the 110 billion.
Yes, just 110 billion. The one we have earmarked for the National Assembly, the lawmakers.
Yes.
These are funds that they do not need. They do not need new cars. They have their cars. They do not need to improve their working conditions. They are already enjoying themselves.
The senator came out and was saying they need those cars
because Nigeria roads are bad.
The same person said that he owns similar cars before he even got into office.
You realize that there's a certain level of arrogance to the way they speak. They do not rate us, basically. They do not rate our intelligence. They insult our intelligence on a daily basis.
I think they feel more entitled.
Just understand because they are the ones on the top and they are the ones below. Yes. So as far as he's concerned, he has these cars, and now
he had them before even he was in office.
I mean, he needs these cars to show how bad Nigeria roads. He's telling you know how Nigeria roads are. He's telling the journalists, you know how Nigeria roads are. Whose responsibility is it to actually fix these roads?
That's so indicting on him.
Yes. So it's you've already surrendered that you guys will not do your job. Therefore, you will be employing some alternatives.
Capitalizing on your failure.
At the expense.
Capitalizing on their failures.
So if you inject it in the health sector, we are going to according to the Federal Ministry of Health, the cost to construct one fully well-equipped, fully functional primary health care center is 30 million.
30 million.
30 million. This thing can inflate, but then let's take the 30 million. Let's take their figure. If each primary healthcare center costs 30 million, if we inject 110 billion into this thing, we are going to have 3,600 new primary healthcare centers, fully functional and well equipped.
3,600.
You can see the money our lawmakers are just enjoying. What it can do for the people. So it's senseless and absurd for somebody to tell you that you do not have the solutions, as if the solutions are some superficial things that you just go out and get.
Yes.
The solutions are looking at you. They're looking at you. They are right under your nose. The education sector is next. The education sector is depressing. It's depressing how education has degenerated in Nigeria.
Unlike the health sector, I feel the education sector is actually intentional. It's on purpose.
It is.
Yes.
In our previous discussion, we've talked about how they weaponize this.
Exactly.
It's deliberate. They don't want you to be conscious. They don't want you to be educated. And when you manage to get the little education, they give you things that you do not need. The classes, the little classes you have are filled with students. Sometimes you don't even have the teachers.
The learning condition is not even the learning condition.
The curriculum itself is dead.
And then you realize how funny our leaders think. Instead of them to actually focus on getting more teachers, more educated teachers, more qualified teachers, getting more schools and more classes for facilities, learning facilities for these students, they brought up the school feeding program. You can see the verbalization, the almagirification of the system. So they want you to come holding your warmers, collecting food from them while they snap pictures and telling you that they are actually. It's one of the most scandalous projects ever embarked in the history of any country. It's funny and it's sad and it's laughable, and people continue to get a lot of money from it. It's basically for the contractors, not for the students.
And whenever you hear anything happening in any school, it's either they're building a new fence or they are painting it.
Or if they manage to build some classes, then the class is always empty. So you see they snap pictures outside and give it to this PR dog while they keep sharing it around. They keep pushing it. But then inside we don't have the facilities. The libraries are bad.
There are no libraries.
They sit down on the floor and all this stuff.
Basically.
So it's depressing, the education sector. But think about what it's going to do for education sector.
How much are we going to get?
Let's inject 110 billion into
if we inject into education. Let's see
one of the biggest problems we face in the education sector is the fact that we have overcrowded classes.
Exactly.
To the point that a teacher cannot actually deliver on what he's supposed to teach the children. So at the end of the day, we could get new classes. I mean, it's one of the solutions. We could get newer classes to decongest the classes, along with getting qualified teachers to complement this. So let's talk about building classes alone. If we inject 110 billion into this, we have blocks of 11. Let's say we have blocks of 11 classes. Each block has 11 classes. We are going to have 14,000. I beg your pardon. 14,960 new classrooms across the country.
Almost 15,000 new blocks of 11 classrooms. A block of 11 classrooms each. About 15,000.
That's 15,000 classes across the country. So if you do that and you divide it into the 774 local governments, about 586 local governments are going to get 2 blocks of these 11 classrooms.
That's a long way.
22. Imagine 22 classrooms.
22 classes.
In every local government. So about 600 thereabouts local governments will get that, and the remaining will get 1 block each of 11,000 with 110 billion naira. With working conditions money and SUVs money, we can get this solution.
I'm not even talking about the 1 trillion naira.
No.
We're not even going there.
We're not talking about manufacturing.
And the first lady's fleet.
We're not talking about
and the vice president.
No, we're not talking about. Remember, the National Assembly, like I said, is a conduit pipe for this money.
Okay, sure.
We have 3 billion naira allocated for the construction of a car park for the House of Reps members. We have another 3 billion naira allocated for the construction of a carport, a car parking space for the senators too, because they don't want to mingle with the younger ones.
And of course, when you spend this huge sum of money to buy these cars, you have to spend huge sum of money to park them. Yes, of course.
So it has to be as equally outrageous.
Yes, of course.
So you realize that there's another 3 billion naira, because I've made it my obsession now to go around these numbers. Look at them. Look at how
they don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
They have no emotion. They tell you what it is. So we have another 3 billion naira allocated to the libraries of the National Assembly. So the library, it has a library. So we are going to buy new books.
Of course,
3 billion naira.
Yes, of course. So our lawmakers get engaged and research, and I feel that's a good one.
And think about solutions like the school feeding program.
Yes.
We need to research for that.
Oh my goodness.
It's really funny. It's depressing to the point that you can't even cry now. You just laugh.
Just laugh about it.
You have another 10 billion naira has been allocated actually for the construction of a general car park for the National Assembly.
A general.
Those ones are specific. Now we have a general car park. Yes.
Those funds that were allocated for them to buy their vehicles. Yes. Those vehicles need a special car park.
And they have their aids.
So this car park, this general car park is for the aids, for the visitors, and for the.
So basically, 10,000 million will cost them to do.
When you break down this billion in 2000,
it's 10,000. 10,000. So
it's outrageous.
There are a lot of things. I don't even want to get into the National Assembly. They've made it into a cabal of some sort, a mafia syndicate of some sort, where they just go there, they allocate money to themselves, and they keep quiet. They don't tell their constituencies anything. They just go there when they need their votes, or when there are festivities, they go there, they share money out of the palliatives that was meant for these people.
And they always tell them that there is no money for governance. So they make people feel like this money they are giving them is out of their own
personal money.
It's funny when people tell you that you need to cut them some slack just because one member or the other is giving out some 2 million to pay tuition fees for these people to do this and that you need to cut them some slack.
Minimum.
You need to cut them some slack because the others are not doing it.
So you even call it the barest minimum.
We've already surrendered that. We talked about the running cost of these people.
Yes.
Every senator gets nothing less than 12 million for running costs.
Running costs, yes.
Every member of the House of Reps gets nothing less than 9 million for his running cost monthly. Running costs. What he has
running
to do
costs,
to go to the constituency. We are not talking about constituency allowances.
Off of the basic salary.
Just running costs.
No, that's aside his basics.
For buying his tea, for enjoying himself, and yet they need some more money to improve their working conditions. I don't know what conditions they want to improve. But well, that's more or less what we have been reduced into. So now you look at this. This is just 110 billion. We'll just focus on these two sectors. Let's talk about the 280 million. It's chicken change, yeah?
The prayer money.
Million, yes, the prayer money. Let's see what 280 million can do for a Nigerian. It's just 280 million. It's not up to half a billion.
The prayer money for the Senate.
Just the prayer money. Just 280 million.
Because of governance in Nigeria, whether from the legislative or the executive, is so outrageous.
It is.
It's a state in one of these states in northern Nigeria. When I saw the budget of the government house, the budget, how much it takes to govern or run the government house.
Just the government house?
Just the government house.
Okay.
Like,
we have money allocated for...
You know how much is a chicken? Like, normally, how much is a chicken now?
The chicken don't reach like 9K now, like this.
Like, normally, like 9K?
It Jones.
Like, in a normal market, like, how much
the biggest will be 10,000.
Like 10,000.
Yes, so let's make it 10,000.
Every chicken in that government house costs 50,000 naira. A chicken. And a day, they eat like 50 to 100 chickens. Every blessed day. An egg costs 1,000 naira.
When the lissapin naka na kwana nan ne kuma an kwana biyu.
Sai ci gaba da lissafin kawai.
So in Kekalawa now, when you realize that these people do not rate us, like I said, and they don't miss any chance to milk the economy, to milk Nigerian.
Well, they don't.
So they focus on you, making sure that you pay these taxes while they continue to subsidize themselves and enjoy their luxury lifestyle.
So the 280 million.
So 280 million.
Yes.
A lot can happen with 280 million. We might underestimate it because we've become desensitized to how outrageous these monies are.
Billions, billions.
So we have things like, if you come back to the health sector, we have things like there will be a supply and installation of ultra-modern and specialized diagnostic equipment at a unit cost of 50 million. So diagnostic equipment are one of the things that we lack in our public hospitals.
Yes.
So with this 280 million, we could get four of them because basically they cost 50 million. Yes. So 200, we are going to get some change, 18 million.
18 million, with it as running cost.
So in the same vein, we could get 21 complexes, radiology complexes. They only cost 10 million naira. If you go to states like Katsina and other states, you realize that in the whole of the state, you find only one hospital perhaps.
If they have
that offers radiology services, X-ray and
not if it works. It works fully.
Yes, if
you don't get referred to another state to go and do the test or something.
And then you put the accuracy of this results to question. Because at the end of the day, if they don't have enough maintenance and good whatever, you just find a way of, So this is how bad the system is. So we could even create some trauma centers, 2 trauma centers, cost just 79.9 trauma centers for victims of trauma, abuse, and other things.
I feel everyone in Nigeria is traumatized.
We are all traumatized.
Everyone in Nigeria is traumatized. So we need these funds to be diverted. We need these trauma centers to be established.
We all
need access.
We need access to trauma centers.
You know, the prayer money is without prejudice to their salaries. Without prejudice to
that's
their
just prayer.
Just for them to enjoy their breaks.
Pray.
Yes. And that was what was announced. We don't know when they gave them during the Salah break. We don't know when they gave them during
that was just for the Easter.
This is just for the Easter.
So, yes.
And he has
I don't know your guy lose guy talk.
And he has learned. Next time now, you don't
he's not going to announce it.
As he just talk down and say, and something has been sent to Our people, somebody just came and sorry. I withdraw the statement. Prayers has been sent to you. I was like, can you imagine?
You see, with 280 million naira, you can create 23 new modular theater rooms at a unit of 9.4 million naira only. So you could construct 23 new theater rooms. Surgical theater rooms for.
I thought you're talking about like a movie theater. I'll be like, in Nigeria, who can get time and go watch movie for Nigeria?
So these are things. I mean, even in the power sector, I think we'll share this with our viewers to see how the KVS that you can generate, 21 stations of,
And with the power sector, bro, and once we focus on the power sector and are able to reach a certain point there, I believe almost half of Nigeria's problems will be solved.
I feel if we are going to sit and discuss about the power sector, it will be a talk for a whole day. Because the power sector is one of the sectors that has consumed the whole lot of Nigeria's revenue and income and budget and resources. So I think we should leave that. We should leave that for another day.
For education, we were talking about education. You can, with 218 million, you could construct 10 labs, computer technology laboratories, computer labs, 10 well-equipped labs at a unit cost of 20.73 million. So you could construct 10 labs. How many public schools have you gone to and you've seen a functional computer lab?
I don't think I have.
There's no provision for the buildings. We don't even have a library.
Are you talking about computer lab?
Computer lab, yes.
How many public schools will you go and see a single computer? Even in the office of the headmaster, there's nothing now. You just see files and papers.
Stuff, yes.
You have to go to cafe and print. There is a cafe outside for photocopy.
So gentlemen, these are the issues.
And this is the matter.
I'm telling you.
So you realize that cost of governance in Nigeria is probably the most. We run the most expensive parliament in the world.
Sure.
Our own parliaments, our parliamentarians, our senators are paid more than the United States president.
Wow.
The leader of the free world, the most powerful person in the world.
Powerful.
They get more money than the president's salary
of the United States.
We are not talking about the privileges they enjoy. We are not talking about their allowances.
Just the basic salary.
Just their salaries and their main lump of salaries and allowances.
It's like they go home with almost 30-something million.
They do. They tell you that their main salary is just 2-point-something million. But then if you look at all these things, running costs, constituency allowance, this allowance, that allowance, sitting allowance, they pay them for sitting.
Newspaper allowance, furniture allowance.
They give them.
So people come and sit throughout the session without saying a word.
Now we think carry and come with that.
Some even sleep.
Yes.
They sleep off and they get paid.
And then they keep collecting debts. They keep collecting foreign loans at the expense of Nigeria. Our public debts, as it is now, I think Nigeria has about 89 point something, about 90 trillion worth of foreign debts.
Is it in naira or in dollars? This figure should be in dollars.
In dollars. So each Nigerian is owing, you, me, everyone is owing 410,000. The debt per capita for Nigeria, everyone is owing 410,000 each.
Why they owe now?
You they owe somebody. You they owe China. You they owe IMF.
I can't join the one where I owe myself. Who call me my people?
That one is second. But the debt per capita is 410,000 for each Nigerian.
410,000 for each Nigerian. Wow.
And they are planning on getting more loans and more loans. When
not consulting you and
when Buhari was going in his final months, he sought for about 22 trillion naira for one thing or the other from the CBN. That's where what they call the way and means loan or something like that. And then this one came in and he started collecting $7.5 billion. This one started collecting. So they plan on collecting more loans, buying jets for themselves, subsidizing themselves, and then you realize these people are being paid with our money. They squander these monies that belong to us. We are the taxpayers. We are the Nigerians. We sent them there to represent us. But then they are doing these things, and somebody would question your intention for asking the right questions and holding them accountable.
Yes,
I feel like it's the highest degree of insensitivity and the highest degree of irresponsibility for one to actually get to that point of actually excusing these people for this misappropriation, misgovernance, and whatever. It's sad. It's really sad. It takes a certain degree of shamelessness for one to get to this point. And whoever does that, I would say shame on you.
That's a very great one. Like when you analyze the cost of governance in Nigeria, it's so outrageous.
But one
and
thing,
these people keep telling us that there is no money, Yet, there is no month or there is no time that you hear they don't get paid.
Yeah.
All this lifestyle is being fueled and everything is going smooth.
I mean, they just said they wanted to get the president's new jets because the previous ones are trying to put his life at risk.
Yes.
The previous jets, the presidential jets, they are trying to put his life at risk. So they want to use 100 million to get jets for them. For Nigerians deserve to know these things. That's why we bring these things out.
Yes.
We could just sit down and internalize them, but we need to bring them out. Nigerians need to know what their lawmakers are doing, what their governors are doing, what their
in terms of the lawmakers, according to the law, how can we call those people back?
There's a whole constitutional procedure on the recall.
How is that?
And I think we should have an episode for that. Where we will dissect what the constitution says to the people and how
because
they can recall their lawmaker.
This matter.
We discuss these issues now, and I think we should discuss this matter too. That should be
we'll dissect the provisions of the constitution and
because
tell
a lot of people don't know that it's actually possible.
Yeah,
a lot of people feel like these people are untouchable.
Yes.
They are there and there are some
alphas. It just has to be the next 4 years before we do something like that.
But there are ways to recall these people.
You can't recall them.
So I think we need to sit and talk about this issue as well. Due to the timing. But today we don't even get tea. We don't even get tea due to the timing. No time.
Some refreshment.
That's I'm sitting by the cancel last time. Chiama had that isha That's good. That's a nice one.
It's always wonderful to have you.
Always nice having you. Nice one so very much.
We'll continue to rant.
All right,
continue to rant.
The ranting continues.
Rant it out.
We have to rant it out.
Reformers addressing Nigeria's
struggles.
At the moment.